Lawmakers were called into special session today by Governor Eddie Calvo, the fifth time this year, and while discussion was supposed to revolve around bills appropriating Section 30 revenues for tax refunds and other priorities, that did not happen, and instead session was adjourned immediately. But it's not all for nothing, as Governor Calvo in turn ordered millions more in tax refunds to be paid. Ken Quintanilla has more.
In following through with the governor's call for special session, lawmakers convened, but within a matter of minutes, immediately adjourned sine die. Democrat Majority Leader Senator Roy Respicio explains.
We adjourned sine die today so that the Democrats can demonstrate how we're cutting the politics so that the governor can cut those tax refund checks for the 6,200 tax recipients.
It was just yesterday when Vice Speaker B.J. Cruz shared the same sentiment, saying the governor did not need legislative authority to spend the Section 30 money, as around this time last year, he had transferred $5 million in Section 30 money to pay tax refunds.
This little political game that Adelup and Senator Chris are playing is unnecessary. And the reason why I say it's unnecessary is because the governor knows that it's unnecessary.
There's press releases.
Respicio further adds to have this issue drawn out would clearly take away the governor's ability to start processing the checks.
So we didn't want to prolong this kind of discussion where it was clear the governor had the authority to do so.
And while lawmakers did not discuss Bill 187 appropriating $9 million from Section 30 money, along with the three other measures introduced by the Republicans, Governor Calvo instead in turn ordered DOA to release $20 million in tax refunds, inclusive of all the $15 million Section 30 money and $5 million from the regular reserve collections.
Well, I'm happy to say that there's $20 million in tax refunds that will be released to the general public on Friday of this week.
Governor Calvo further adds he'll gladly oblige to Vice Speaker B.J. Cruz and the Democrat senator's statements that legislative authority isn't necessary to use the Section 30 money for tax refunds.
Again, it doesn't make a difference what we do. We were heavily criticized not too long ago for releasing extra Section 30 money for tax refunds. As a matter of fact, the appropriations chair appropriated money, introduced a bill to appropriate money from these additional Section 30 monies, including tax refunds. And we've been accused of being non-transparent. So, we, in the spirit of working with the legislature, are doing what we thought they wanted, but obviously the Vice Speaker has reversed the position.
Governor Calvo, meanwhile, says he's still disappointed that lawmakers adjourned session without talking about the three other bills that would have addressed paying overtime for public safety officers, purchasing police vehicles, and providing maintenance for the island schools, all of which would have needed legislative authority to use Section 30 money. Senator Chris Duenas, meanwhile, thanks the governor for releasing the refunds, but says he's still disappointed as well with the Democrats' call to adjourn and not even discuss the other bills. So what happens now to Bill 187?
Once the checks are cut, and I've been given the word from DOA that that money's been distributed, of course the bill for the $9 million will be moot, and I will be withdrawing that.
Following the announcement, Senator Roy Respicio issued a comment saying, quote, "This is a victory for taxpayers, and I am glad that the governor has finally moved to end the politics and the talk and release those tax refunds," end quote. He further adds, quote, "The governor's actions now speak to how unnecessary it was to alarm our people and burden taxpayers with the uncertainty as to whether or not they would get their tax refunds," end quote. The $20 million, meanwhile, accounts for over 9,000 taxpayers, and according to the governor's office, will be printed by Revenue Tax today, with DOA auditing the checks and stuffing them into envelopes Thursday and sent to the post office no later than Friday. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Ken Quintanilla.